Alright, so I'm recording this on TikTok because YouTube does not have 10-minute videos, and this is probably more of a minute long. So let's talk about how the Dallas Cowboys can hypothetically make the playoffs as a 7th seed. You're going to need a win out, beat the Bengals tomorrow, and I'm recording this at 6:08 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. You're going to have to beat the Bengals, beat Carolina, Tampa Bay, Eagles, and the Washington Commanders. If you win all those games, you'll be put at 10-7. But let's say you lose one game. Are you out of the playoffs or not? Out of all these games, I could see them probably beating the Bengals, maybe the Carolina Panthers. You could well lose all of these games. But the worst record you can go is 5-12, and the best record you can go is 10-7. So say you go 10-7. What do you need also to happen to make the playoffs? Let's move to the Washington Commanders schedule. They did not play today. They had a bye week, so they're 8-5 right now. They got to play the Saints, Eagles, Falcons, and Cowboys. The best record they can have is 12-5. The worst record they can have is 8-9. Out of all those games, the ones I can see them losing are probably these last three right there. I know Atlanta's not doing pretty well. They just lost today. I'll get them to in a minute. But Philadelphia is probably going to run away at the division. And the Saints, they're mediocre. They're probably going to beat the Saints to go 9-5. So let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. What do I need from the Atlanta Falcons? If you don't know, they beat the Cowboys earlier this season, so they do own the tiebreaker over them. They're currently 6-7. They lost to Minnesota today, and they have to play the Raiders, Giants, Commanders, and Carolina Panthers. They actually have a pretty easy remaining schedule, so you're going to need a lot of help. Out of all these games, I can see them definitely losing to the Commanders, maybe the Panthers too. But the way that Kirk Cousins is playing, I don't know if they're going to win, but maybe 2 or 3 games more. Which leads me to my next case and team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they won today against the Raiders. They're 7-6. And why am I bringing up the Buccaneers? It's because of this game right here. They got to play Dallas, and they're 7-6 right now. And they have a tough remaining schedule. They're probably going to beat the Saints, but they got to play the Chargers, Cowboys, Carolina Panthers, and Saints. And the Chargers are pretty damn good. The best record they can go is 11-6. They can probably win the NFC South, and all we have to worry about is the Atlanta Falcons. But the Atlanta Falcons could go on a run. Then we have to talk about the Bucs. Leads me to my next team, the Arizona Cardinals. As the time I'm recording this, they're losing to the Seattle Seahawks, which is going to help us a little bit. But you got to play the Patriots, Carolina, Rams, and 49ers. Now, I'm going to say this for every team that's playing the Carolina Panthers, because the Panthers are immediately slept on. They're slept on a lot, so Carolina can easily beat Arizona. But let's talk about the Cardinals. So they got to play New England, which their defense is pretty damn good, but their offense sucks, and they're probably one of the worst teams in the league. So they're probably going to drop one to Seattle, go 6-7, probably beat New England. They go 7-7 maybe, and then these last 3 games they're going to have to win out. So the best record they're going to have is either 11-6 or 10-7, depending on how today ends out. Worst record they can have is 6-11, and that's basically what the worst record they can have. Which is going to lead me to the Los Angeles Rams. As the time I'm recording this, I'm actually watching the game right now. They're winning 24-14. And if they beat the Bills, they're going to move to 7-6. And this is going to hurt the Dallas Cowboys' playoff chances a lot. They do have a tough remaining schedule. They got to play San Francisco, which is a huge game for them, and the 49ers. The Jets, who lost today, they're already out the playoffs. The Cardinals and the Seahawks. So they do have a pretty tough remaining schedule. The Rams are going to probably have to win out. Go 11-6 is the best record they can go, or they can go 10-7. Which finally is going to lead me to the 49ers. I actually have one other team we're going to talk about after the 49ers. By the time I'm recording this, they're winning 24-0 over the Chicago Bears, and they're probably going to end up winning this game to go 6-7. They do have a tough remaining schedule against the Rams, Dolphins, Lions, and Cardinals. If you don't know, they already beat the Cowboys this year 24-30 earlier in the season, so they do own the tiebreaker over Dallas, which they're going to have a lot of help. The Cowboys. So San Francisco is going to have to play the Rams on Thursday night on a short week, as I'm saying. And the Rams have their back against the wall, and so do the 49ers. So whoever wins this game is probably going to end up making the playoffs or have a better shot at making the playoffs. But out of all these games, I definitely see the 49ers definitely could lose to the Cardinals, the Lions, or the Rams. Really, they can lose all of those. And my final team, even though they're almost technically eliminated from the playoffs, but they're still in contention, is the New Orleans Saints. If you don't know, they already beat the Cowboys in week 2, so they do own the tiebreaker, and they have 5 wins like the Cowboys do as well. You got to play the Commanders, Packers, Raiders, and Bucks. And I'm actually going to be cheering for the Saints to beat the Commanders, because the Commanders have 8 wins right now, and if they drop another, it means that we're going to be closer to second place in the NFC East. But you're going to have to hope that the Saints lose Probably the Packers and the Bucks. I think they can definitely beat the Raiders, so I don't know. Now, I might be wrong all about this. I think maybe the Cowboys might lose tomorrow and their playoff chances are going to be, a lot low. If they win tomorrow, their playoff chances raise from a 5% to a 7%. And if they go out to 10-7, I think it's like a 50-50 shot or whatever. And depending on how Week 17 ends up, you might be fighting for a playoff spot with Washington. I don't know. But let me know down below what you guys think might happen for the playoffs and the Dallas Cowboys.